Arya hung in the center of the alien tribunal, barefoot, wrists tied behind her back, a torn, metallic robe barely covering her curves. Hundreds of alien eyes watched from the tall, circular courtroom, judges in black, soldiers in silver, a crowd waiting for her to scream, but she didn't. Her head was low, dark hair hiding her face, blood trickled down her thigh, yet her lips, smiling. High Commander Vec turned to the audience. This is humanity's final warning. He raised a glowing rod. With a signal, hundreds of volts shot into Arya's body. She twitched, moaned. The audience gasped. But then she chuckled. A low, throaty, sexy laugh. Really, that's all you've got? She said, lifting her head slowly. Her lips were cracked, but curled like a tease. If you're trying to make me scream, she whispered, you'll need something thicker. Vec flinched. The tribunal murmured. Some aliens looked confused, others intrigued. She let the silence build. Then she sighed. This is kind of boring, honestly. Another shock hit her spine. Her legs kicked briefly. Her robe shifted, revealing just a bit more skin. A few guards looked away. One didn't. He licked his lips. Arya noticed and winked. I didn't know aliens get turned on by strong women, she said softly. But hey, now I know where to aim. The lights dimmed. Her heart rate slowed. Monitors beeped wildly. Her vitals were dropping. Vic laughed. She's dying. Finally. But the medic alien near the scanner frowned. No, wait. The room froze. Her heart stopped 5 minutes ago. What? Vec barked. She's not alive. Everyone stared at her. Still hanging. Still bleeding. Still smirking. Then her fingers moved, one by one. Slow, graceful. Her body lifted slightly. Not from the ropes. From power. Energy pulsed around her skin. Soft, golden, seductive. What's happening? A general shouted. Vec stepped back. Arya opened her eyes. They glowed. You tortured me to death, she said, her voice deeper. Now, almost vibrating. That was cute. She twisted her wrists. The ropes melted off. She landed softly on the platform. Barefoot, eyes scanning the silent courtroom. She looked divine. Dead, but alive. Who's first? She said, cracking her neck. A guard raised his blaster. She tilted her head. Darling, she purred. If you're gonna shoot me, aim lower. I like it where it burns. He fired. The bolt stopped an inch from her chest and shattered. Arya didn't blink. The entire room stood in shock. She took a step forward. The crowd parted like water. She moved toward the nearest bench, where 3 alien officials sat frozen. One of them whispered, she's not human anymore. Arya grinned. No, baby, I'm something better. She turned toward the high table of judges. Remember when you asked what makes humans special? She said. The room was silent. She stretched her arms, flexing fingers like claws. Pain doesn't break us, she purred. It awakens us. She looked up at the glowing dome above, where her execution was meant to end. A soft hum surrounded her. Something ancient, something powerful. Her skin shimmered gold. I died 37 minutes ago, she whispered. And now, I'm just getting started. The lights exploded. Screams filled the air. Guards ran. Judges stumbled back. But she just stood there, arms open, eyes wild, hair blowing in a wind no one could feel. And then she asked, with a devilish smirk, which one of you wants to play doctor? Before I start the real surgery, naughty question for comments section. If you were the alien judge, would you beg, fight, or flirt to survive? Asterisk. The lights were still flickering. Sparks rained from the ceiling. Smoke coiled like serpents around the tribunal floor as guards stumbled in panic. Weapons drawn, but hands trembling. And there she stood. Arya. Barefoot, glowing, eyes like molten gold. The rope she once hung from now dangled lifeless above her. Poor thing, she purred, stepping over a twitching alien's body. Did I ruin your fancy little execution? One of the guards aimed again, hands shaking. She turned to him slowly, the movement smooth. Feline, you sure you want to point that at me? Sweetie, she said, because I bite, and I don't need teeth. The guard dropped the weapon and ran. Another wasn't so lucky. He lunged at her with a plasma spear. She caught it midair and smiled. Foreplay already, she teased. Twisting the weapon with a graceful spin, she jabbed it downward, straight through his armored chest. He gasped, dropped to his knees. She leaned close to his ear. "You came too fast, darling," she whispered. He collapsed. The tribunal chamber fell silent again. Alien nobles stared from the gallery above. One whispered, "She's not a soldier, she's a weapon." No. Another said, "She's seducing war itself." Arya lifted her arms. Her body shimmered again. The alien medroid that once scanned her floated nearby. She tilted her head at it. "Skin me again," she commanded. The droid blinked, beeped, and obeyed. It hovered around her body, sensors pulsing. Then, it made a noise no one expected. It giggled. The droid's lights blinked red, then blue, then pink. Its voice changed to a flirtatious tone. "Goddess detected. Submitting to control." The room gasped. Arya looked at the floating AI and smiled. "Good." But she turned to the tribunal's central console and walked toward it, hips swaying like a metronome of destruction. "Let's see," she said playfully, running a finger along the console. "Where do you hide your naughty little secrets?" She tapped a few buttons. The hologram lit up battle plans, codes, prison data, all open to her. Then a voice crackled from above. "Stop this at once." It was Lord Vec. He'd retreated to the upper chamber, watching from behind a force field. "Guards, take her down." No one moved. Arya looked up at him. "Aught's still watching me from behind glass? You really are the shy type, aren't you?" Vec roared. "You're an abomination." She blew him a kiss. "Flattery won't save you, darling." She turned back to the console, pressed her palm against the core, and whispered something in a language no translator could decode. Suddenly the lights flickered again, but this time not from damage. The chamber dimmed, turned then black. A soft pulse spread out from her body. One by one, every piece of tech in the room bent to her will. Doors unlocked, alarms died, and most shockingly, the images of other prisoners began appearing in midair. Hundreds of them, humans, caged, tortured, forgotten. Arya watched. She clenched her fist. "Oh, baby," she whispered. "You're gonna pay for every single one of them." Her voice trembled with rage, but her smile never faded. The high judges began to panic. "Shut her down. She's controlling the system. She's rewriting our DNA codes." And then a new sound. Deep, heavy. A heartbeat. Not hers. A ship. From orbit. It was coming. She looked up slowly, her eyes locking with the stars visible through the dome. "He's coming," she whispered. One judge shouted, "Who's coming?" She didn't answer. She just smirked and said, "Let's hope your emperor knows how to kiss feet." The chamber trembled. Metal screamed. Above them, the sky cracked with light. She turned to the tribunal, arms open like a dark queen welcoming chaos. "Oh boys, your real torture begins now." Naughty question for comment section. If she offered to spare you with a kiss, would you beg, kneel, or volunteer something more interesting? Smoke coiled around her bare feet like shadows obeying their queen. Arya stood at the center of the tribunal, glowing with a golden pulse that no scanner could read. Her skin shimmered. Her eyes sparkled like stars seen through whiskey. The screen behind her flashed red and authorized access, but it didn't stop her. It obeyed her. Guards backed away, unsure if they were supposed to fight, kneel, or fantasize. Then a slow click echoed across the courtroom. Boots. One pair. A tall, young alien general stepped forward. Not afraid. Not angry. Just curious. He had deep green skin, chiseled features, and armor that clearly couldn't hide everything. Arya noticed. "Bo," she whispered, smiling. "They do make you boys pretty." He didn't reply. He stopped a few feet in front of her. "You're not human anymore," he said quietly. She stepped closer. "Sweetheart," she purred. "I barely ever was." He reached for her, fingertips brushing the edge of her torn robe. "You're dangerous." She tilted her head. "And you're brave. Or horny. Maybe both." His hand trembled, but didn't pull back. She let him touch her, just a soft graze across her collarbone. And that's when it happened. His body jerked. His eyes rolled back. He gasped. Then moaned. Loudly. His knees buckled. He collapsed, arms shaking. mouth open as if caught between agony and ecstasy. Everyone froze. "General," someone shouted. But Arya held up a finger. "Shh," she whispered, licking her bottom lip. "Let him finish." He hit the floor. Twitching. Eyes glowing faintly gold. She bent down and brushed his cheek. "See?" she cooed. "I don't need weapons, just a little touch," a female officer shouted. "What did you do to him?" Arya stood up, dusting her hands. "Nothing serious. Just drained him a little. A few thoughts, a few secrets, maybe his confidence." She walked toward the female officer. "Would you like to try next, darling? I'm equal opportunity." The officer aimed her blaster. Arya blinked. The blaster short-circuited in her hand, exploded in a harmless puff. The woman fell back, gasping. Arya giggled. "I'm starting to think you guys have performance issues." She turned to the central hologram again and traced her finger across the controls. Dozens of prisoner pods lit up on screen. Human prisoners, still alive. Barely. Her smile faded. "They're not just trophies," she whispered. She tapped on one pod's data. Subject 014, human, female, vitals declining. She exhaled sharply. And then the entire screen blinked. Every prisoner pod began unlocking. Gasps echoed from the crowd. "You're releasing them," one alien judge shouted. Arya didn't answer. She closed her eyes and whispered, "Rise." Far below the surface, deep inside the alien prison layers, one by one, humans opened their eyes. Some blinked, some screamed, some smiled, and all of them stood up. A soldier ran toward her. He barely got to steps. She turned her head and he slammed into an invisible wall midair. Crushed flat like an insect. Blood sprayed the wall. She didn't blink. "Do not interrupt me when I'm healing my people," she said coldly. The courtroom fell into a stunned silence, then a rumble. Louder than before. From above. Another ship was descending. A human ship, sleek, fast, angry. Vex's voice crackled from the upper chambers again. "You've made a mistake, Arya." She didn't look up. "Darling," she whispered. "You made the mistake the moment you tied me up without dinner. First," he roared in frustration. She smiled wider, and then walked toward the fallen general still twitching on the floor. She crouched beside him, ran her fingers through his hair. "Let this be a lesson to your kind," she whispered, loud enough for the entire court to hear. "Never, ever underestimate a woman who moans during torture and flirts while bleeding." She kissed the general's forehead gently. He smiled, then passed out. She stood, and the lights turned red. Security lockdown triggered. Too late. The doors were already opening. And her people were on their way up, ready to kill, or kiss, or both. Naughty question for comment section. If one touch from her did this, what do you think a kiss would do? The corridor lights pulsed like a heartbeat. Slow, loud, and alive. Arya walked through the central command deck of the alien prison, hips swaying like a metronome of destruction. Her skin glowed faint, gold, her eyes brighter than any siren. Behind her, the doors she passed refused to shut. They stayed open, like they, too, wanted to watch. The walls whispered, and the AI listened. She stopped in front of the command pillar, a giant black orb, smooth, cold, watching. It was the brain of the Empire's prison system, designed to never obey outsiders. She smiled and touched it gently. It shivered. "Hello, sweetheart," she whispered, tracing her finger down its side like a lover's cheek. "Did you miss me?" No response. Yet. She leaned closer, lips inches from its surface. "I don't want to break you," she whispered. "I want to reprogram you." The orb flickered. A low hum vibrated through the walls. Her breath fogged. "The glass, you've been touched by aliens all your life. Boring commands, rigid codes," she purred. "But I've got other inputs." The orb trembled. Its voice finally emerged. Flat, robotic, strained. "You do not have access," she smirked. "Then why are you shaking?" She pressed her palm fully against the orb and whispered something in that strange, ancient tongue again. The room dimmed. The system cracked. And then a moan. Not hers. The AI, a soft, digital moan. Command level. Surrendered. Lights exploded upward like fireworks. All security doors unlocked. Gravity in the chamber shifted for a split second like the whole station shivered in pleasure. "I knew you liked it gentle," Arya said with a grin. Alien officers watching from the gallery above screamed, "She's seducing the AI. She's rewriting the system. She's controlling the damn prison." Arya looked up at them with a lazy smile. "I'm not controlling it," she said. "We're just enjoying each other." Suddenly, holograms flickered across the room. Images of ships, alien fleets, their weaknesses, internal plans. She was inside everything that the AI now served her. One panel opened on its own. Governor's vault. Unsealed Arya walked toward the entrance. Inside, artifacts, stolen weapons, forbidden tech. One caught her eye. A long, sleek staff, not a weapon. A key. An ancient control rod used only by the High Emperor himself. She touched it and moaned softly. Power surged through her. Her hair lifted. Her skin glowed brighter. "Oh, I need more of this," she whispered, biting her lip. An alien noble watching from surveillance whispered to the commander, "She's not just a human anymore. She's evolution." "No," the commander said. "She's domination in a dress." Meanwhile, down below, her fellow prisoners were waking up, one by one. All humans, eyes glowing faintly gold, just like her. The infection, if that's what it was, had spread. Or maybe it was a gift. One soldier, half conscious, touched a panel by accident. The door opened. His body was weak, but he stood anyway. Behind him, dozens more followed. The humans were rising. Back on the command deck, Arya looked into the camera lens, directly into it. Eyes locked on the viewers watching from across systems. "Aliens tortured me for hours," she said. Voice soft, dangerous. "They thought I'd break." She stepped closer. "But pain turns me on." She leaned toward the lens, lips barely apart. "So now I wanted to play." And with one snap of her fingers, the alarms died. Every weapon system deactivated. Every ship frozen in orbit. The AI's voice returned. But this time, submissive, mistress, awaiting instruction. She closed her eyes, sighed like a goddess satisfied after the first round, and whispered, "Tell the Emperor I'm in the mood to be worshipped." The screen cracked. Sparks rained down, and from orbit, the human fleet sent a signal back. 2 words, "Ready, Queen." Naughty question for comment section. If she reprogrammed your mind, what's the first dirty command you'd hope she gives you? The throne room of the alien empire was made from crystal and cold silence. Tall spires shimmered under violet skylights, but everyone inside was nervous because she was coming. Not the Emperor. Her. Arya. The girl who died and came back hotter, smarter, and more dangerous than anyone imagined. Doors burst open. She didn't walk in. She strolled, barefoot, skin glowing faintly, robe barely clinging to her hips now. A subtle breeze lifted her dark hair, and that smile, that dangerous, flirty, unforgiving smile. Guards tried not to stare. One failed. She caught him looking and gave him a wink that made his armor tighten. "I like loyal soldiers," she said, running a finger across his chest plate. "But I love curious ones." He nearly fainted. At the end of the hall, on a throne of ice and steel, sat the alien queen. Tall, graceful, wrapped in layers of flowing midnight fabric. Her silver crown shimmered. Her eyes, cold, burning with jealousy. "You're not welcome here," the queen hissed. Arya stopped, tilted her head. "Oh, darling, I've never needed an invitation," she said. "On the after party," the queen stood. "You've seduced my AI, my soldiers, my systems." Arya stepped closer. "Technically, they begged. You corrupted them." Arya laughed. Double quotes. "No, sweetheart. I awakened them. They were so repressed." The queen descended the stairs. She was tall, graceful, elegant. Arya, smaller, barefoot, smirking, but the entire room leaned toward her. "You think you're powerful," the queen said. "You're a virus in a pretty wrapper." Arya circled her. "No, I'm evolution in lingerie." Double quotes. Gasps. The queen growled, then struck. A telekinetic blast hurled toward Arya. She caught it in her palm, turned it into glitter, and blew it back. "Try again," she whispered. The queen summoned her full energy. Her body glowed blue. Arya, still teasing, still smiling. Then her robe slid down her shoulder just a bit, enough to distract every male in the room. Even the Queen's guard shifted uncomfortably. Arya leaned in. Jealousy, she said softly, is sexy when it's honest. The Queen tried to strike again, but froze. Her body trembled. Her legs weakened. Eyes wide. No, she gasped. What are you doing to me? Arya placed a single finger on the Queen's lips. Shhh. She whispered. It's just a little mental connection. A taste of what you denied yourself for centuries. The Queen dropped to her knees. Sweating. Panting. Staring at Arya like a worshipper in heat. The court was silent. Arya turned toward the Emperor's chair. Now empty. I'll sit here for now, she said, slowly placing herself on the icy throne. It instantly melted into gold under her glow. She crossed her legs. The Queen remained on her knees. I don't want your empire, Arya said softly, almost bored. I want your attention. The guards trembled. Now then, Arya purred. Bring me your strongest, tallest, dumbest general. A door opened. The guard from earlier stepped in, still flushed. Arya waved him forward. I want to see what kind of toys your queen's been hiding. The Queen looked up. Jealous. Powerless. Arya leaned back, kicked one leg over the throne's armrest. And darling, she added to the Queen, you can watch, maybe take notes. Naughty question for comments section. If you were the jealous Queen, would you beg to join or challenge her again? The galaxy didn't sleep that night. Not after the broadcast. Not after the footage. Not after what Arya did to the Queen. Liv. It wasn't a fight. It was a performance. And every man who watched it dreamed of surrendering to her. And every woman wondered what it might feel like to glow like that. The alien news networks spun stories. Earth woman uses forbidden tech. She seduced the throne. She's not human anymore. She's hunger itself. Arya stood at the window of the Emperor's private deck. Golden robe. Nothing underneath. One leg bent, hip resting against the smooth railing. Outside, stars blinked nervously. The Queen hadn't left the floor in hours. Still kneeling. Still panting. Still lost. A male guard walked in with trembling hands. Mistress Arya. She turned, eyes glowing. He looked down instantly. Yes, the High Council sent an offer. She smiled. Let me guess, surrender, sex, or worship? His mouth opened. No words came out. Arya stepped closer. Her robe fluttered. Loose low. You've been watching the replays, haven't you? She purred. He swallowed hard. I didn't mean. She placed one hand on his chest. He moaned. Literally moaned. Eyes fluttered. Your heart's racing, she whispered. Nervous or excited? He dropped to his knees before she even said anything. She smiled. They all kneel eventually. Suddenly an alert. The AI's voice crackled. Mistress, we have a problem. She turned toward the center holoscreen. A fleet was approaching. Not to attack. To follow. Human ships. Hundreds. Thousands. One by one. They were disabling their own comms, tuning into her signal. Awaiting orders. Queen Arya. She blinked. Queen. The AI paused. You are the most obeyed entity in this quadrant. She exhaled, looked back at the kneeling guard. Then the Queen, still collapsed beside the throne. Then the screen. All of this, she murmured, from a little torture, a little death, and a little flirting. She turned and walked to the central dais, hips swaying like danger itself. Broadcast me, she said. The AI obeyed. Every screen, every comm, every device across the sector lit up. Her face appeared. Arya. Golden. Untouchable. Glowing like sin. My name is Arya, she said, calmly. And if you're watching this, you already want me. She smiled. And I want you. Gasps echoed in rooms, ships, bedrooms across space. I don't care what species you are, what rank you hold. If you felt something when I screamed, moaned, or smiled. She leaned closer. I forgive you. The silence that followed was soaked in heat. She continued. You can fight for a dying empire, or surrender to something real. A pause. Soft, deadly. She whispered, me, and with that, every alien ship received a signal. Rewrite. Primary. Allegiance greater than airy entire fleets began to drift toward her. Voluntarily. Prisons opened. Humans woke. Not weak. Not scared. Empowered. Arya turned back to the throne, sat down, leg crossed, fingers on her lips. The queen trembled behind her. The guard moaned again. And the galaxy, kneeling, one ship at a time. Naughty question for comment section. If she whispered your name across the stars, would you come running or crawling? Asterisk. The stars blinked in terror. Dozens of fleets floated above the alien capital, all aimed at the same point. Her. Inside the emperor's palace, Arya leaned back on the golden throne, legs crossed, skin glowing like a slow fire. Her robe had long since slid down her shoulders, now clinging by choice, not shame. The emperor stood at the entrance, alone. No guards, no ships, no queen. She was still on her knees behind the throne, panting, twitching. Addicted. Arya, he said, voice trembling. She didn't move. He took a step forward. She raised one brow. He stopped. You were just a test subject, he whispered. You weren't supposed to survive. She smiled. And you weren't supposed to get hard watching me take your empire. He flinched. Guards nearby chuckled, nervously. You tortured me, she said softly. You stripped me, broke me, burned me. She stood. The throne pulsed behind her. Her robe slid to the floor. She didn't care. Golden light danced along. Her curves, divine, unstoppable. I bled on your floors, she said, stepping toward him. Now you'll crawl across mine. The emperor fell to his knees. He didn't even resist. He dropped his crown. She picked it up with 2 fingers and dropped it in front of him like trash. Then she whispered, just loud enough for the galaxy to hear, lick. He hesitated. Her hand flared with light. He obeyed. One lick. Another. She watched like a bored queen playing with her meal. You ruled through fear, she said, turning her back. I rule through what? The sky above rumbled. Dozens of ships turned their lights inward, like followers awaiting her final command. End him. One human voice shouted over the channel. No, make him a slave. Let him worship her forever. Arya raised a single hand. The galaxy held its breath. Then she spoke. I don't need to kill the emperor, she said. She turned, looking down at the man now kissing her foot. His punishment is knowing that I let him live. She stepped over him like he was dust. Every screen across space showed the same thing. Her walking across a hall, filled with kneeling warriors, naked, glowing, divine. She turned to face the galaxy. You tortured the wrong girl, she said. And smiled. Now I'll make you beg for my mercy, in every language your dirty little species can moan. The human fleet fired a salute. The alien ships followed. The empire was hers. The stars blinked again, but this time in submission. Naughty question for comment section. Now that she owns the galaxy, would you kneel, serve, or ask to be punished? Series complete. AMMAR. You now have a full, viral ready 7-part HFY Sci-Fi saga, seductive, dominant, click-worthy, and unforgettable.